Hello friends, welcome to Developers Tube channel. My name is Ismail Saudagar and today we are going to discuss about classes in C Sharp. So before going to the discussion, I want to tell you that please like, share and subscribe to my channel. So what is a class in C Sharp? So before understanding the class, we need to understand what is object. Object is any real-time entity. Real-time entity means which exists in our real world like car, pen, pencil, airplane, student, employees, etc. So this real-time entity has some information about it, like car is having name, model number, mileage, color, etc. and has some functionalities like start, stop, move, run, ring horn, etc. Different types of functionalities and a real-time object have inside it. So like we can ring a bell if the object is a bell. If we write the information in the string and numeric data type. So for in programming for storing these entities, we are having the object. So everything real-time entity we call it as object. So if you can say that this information related to the object we can store into the string like a string data type we are having and integer data types like I have to store age of the student or age of the employee or salary of the employee. I can save it into the integer data type in C sharp. But suppose that there are number of students, number of employees and number of students. So that variable, string variable gets overwritten and we cannot have the separate employees or students. So for storing real-time entity, we need an object. So that object, like suppose I'm using here car. So for storing the car object, we need a data type of type car. So the object has, as we have told, object has inside it information like attributes in it. Like suppose I am using a car, so car is having name, car is having model number, car is having color. So these, so that particular details that the particular object car will have name, color, and model. And suppose it is having functionality like the ring horn. So this should be specified somewhere before creating the object. So we require a blueprint that will have the information about the object, that this particular car object will has name, model number, color, and it is having functionality ring horn. So for specifying that object details, we have a blueprint, and that blueprint we call it as class. So we use a class for creating the object. As you can see in the figure, I'm having class and objects. So here I'm showing in the class figure, you can see that there is a car, and in objects, I'm having three objects, car objects, Mercedes, BMW, and Audi. So this class is blueprint for these three objects. So this class will have its name, like car name, car color, car model, and it will have functionalities like ring horn or any functionality related information inside this blueprint. That is the class here. So to represent an object, we need to create a blueprint, as I have told you, that specify the details about the object, like what attributes and functionalities it has in it. This blueprint, we call it as class. We can say that class is a blueprint for an object, or object is an instance of a class. Means of instance means example. Means these objects are the example of class car. Class is a container for data and methods. Class acts as a container which can have data, and data is represented by the variable in C sharp, and it has the methods. Method represent the functionalities. Real-time functionalities are represented in programming by using method, which brings from okay. Every line of code that runs in C sharp must be inside a class. So every line in C sharp, every code line must be inside a class. It will be a part of the class because C sharp is object-oriented programming language. In object-oriented programming language, objects are the main entity, and we can create the object by using the class. So every line of code that runs in C sharp must be inside a class. Class is also called as user-defined or predefined data type. User-defined means a custom class that a programmer creates for his needs. A predefined means the class which is already provided by the framework, in our case, the .NET framework. As we all know, in C sharp, we have data types: integer, float, string, datetime, etc. Integer and float will hold numeric values. The difference between integer and float is If I want to store 10, I will store in data type. And if I want to store 10.5, it is called float here. So float data type will be stored in float variable. String data type hold the text information. Date time data type will hold date and time. So I have given here example here. Int a is the variable of type integer and it is having 10 value, and name is of type string, and it is holding developers tube string value in it. And suppose I want to store one car here in the variable. So I have one variable of type car. Like you can see here, for storing the string, I have the name variable of type string. So for storing the car in the variable should be of type car. So for that we are creating, as you can see here, car C equal to new car. So C is the variable of car, and here in programming it is called the object. So here the car is user defined data type, because car data type is not present in the .NET framework already. So for our use, we are creating one class car and then we are creating the object. So it is a user defined data type, we can say that. In C# we create classes for representing real world entities. Now we understand the class. Now we'll see the syntax and example of class. So we'll see the syntax. As you can see here in the syntax, first is access specifier. Access specifier means public, private, protected, which specifies the access of the class from where we can access this class. Class is the keyword, and class name is the name of the class which we are creating. In our case, we have created car, and open curly brace and close curly brace, and here variables like int a I have shown you. So that a is the variable that holds the value, and properties is having getters and setter. We will discuss it later. The class can also have properties inside it. Methods are used for describing the functionality which the class is having. So I have previously explained the methods, what are methods in C# in my previous video. So you can go there and you can see what are methods in C#.NET. For creating the object of class, new keyword is used followed by call to its constructor. So here I am creating object of class car. So I am creating new keyword and calling the constructor. So constructor is a special method. This also we have gone through what are constructor in our previous video, so you can refer. So constructor is a special method which is having the same name as that of the class name. So here I have created object of the class. The object here is C. For creating the object of a class, constructor is mandatory. Without constructor, we cannot create the object of the class. If a class does not contain constructor, then implicit constructor of the class is called by the compiler for creating the object. The implicit constructor is publicly accessible by default. So when I try to create the object of the class, so if suppose in my class, as you have seen here, suppose, so I will show you later it. So for creating a class, the new keyword is used, and after new keyword, we are calling the constructor. So I am using car and open close curly braces. So constructor gets called for creating the object. Suppose in my class there is no constructor, means there is no method which is having the same name as that of the class name. So in that case, what happens? Implicit constructor is called. So implicit constructor is already available, and the .NET framework, the compiler automatically calls that constructor implicit and creates the object. So suppose if the implicit constructor is, so implicit constructor is publicly accessible by default. By default, it is publicly accessible, and therefore we are able to create the object. So if suppose I have made in my class the constructor is private, so in that case, from outside of the class, I cannot create the object of that class. So we will see now example. As you can see here, I have created, this is my accessible public class keyword and car. Car is the name of the class. Public class car, open curly brace. Here I have declared variable car name, which is of type string, means text type will hold. Another is car model, which is of type string. This is the second variable, and car color is the third variable of type string. And here I have one method ring horn. and it is returning null value, means it is not returning anything. So the return type is void, and I'm printing car horn is ringing on my console. So now we will see this example in Visual Studio. So in my Visual Studio, I have created the project classes in C#. So I have created one class car, and this car is having three variable: car name, model, color, as I have shown you previously, and ring horn method. It also contains ring horn. So this ring horn method is taking one parameter, and at the time of calling we need to provide it, and it is printing the line car. What car will call the method? There will be many objects of the car class. So suppose car 1 or car 2 is calling, so in that case that will be present. Name of the car here is ringing the horn, will be printed on the console. Now other class I have declared is student. So this is my student class, and so in this student class I have declared three variables: student name, student class, and student age. Student age is of type integer, and it is having one method is student adult, means by using the age parameter it will return whether the student is adult or not. So here in condition age is greater than 15, means student is adult, it will return, and if it is not greater than 15, then it will return student is not adult, and this string is returned back. Now I will show you the program.cs here. So in my program.cs, I am creating an object of car class C1, and I am assigning the values to the variables of this, that C1.car name. As soon as I will do C1 dot, then car name variable will come. So we can select it. I am assigning Mercedes. For color, car color assigning red, and for car model I am assigning Mercedes 1001. It is the model of the car. And at last here C1 dot ring horn, I am calling this ring horn method, and it expects one string parameter, car name. As I have told you, here we can see, so string car name it is expecting. So I am passing C1 dot car name. So Mercedes will go for this call. Below this, I am creating second object of the car, that is C2. And C2 for second car, I am assigning car name BMW. C2 dot car color, I am assigning red, and C2 dot car model, I am assigning BMW 100. So for accessing the variables and methods of a class by using the object, we need to do C2, then name of the object, then dot, then we can access the variables and methods of particular class. So here I am passing C2 dot ring in here in C2 dot ring horn, I am passing C2 dot car name. So BMW will go, and it will print BMW is ringing the horn, and in first case it will print Mercedes is ringing the horn. And now here I have created object S1 of type student class, and to student I am assigning S1 dot student name John, S1 dot student class 10th, and S1 dot student age 15. So this I am assigning, and I am calling the is student adult method from this object S1. I am using S1 dot is student adult, and this method is expecting one parameter of type integer, that is it is expecting age. So I am putting S1 dot student age. So this 15 will go, and the logic will execute, and it will return the string in the is adult, and I will print the string. So this will print whether the student is adult or not, and after that I'm reading the line. So now this is about class. We have created the objects of the class, and we have seen how to create the object and how to assign the values to the variables and how to call the method. Now we will run this, and we will see what it will print on it. So first it will print Mercedes is ringing the horn, because we are calling a ring horn, C1 dot ring horn. Then we are calling C2 dot ring horn, and we are passing BMW. So second it will print BMW is ringing the horn, and after that it will print whether the particular student is adult or not on the screen. So we'll run this program and we'll see the output. As you can see on the screen, first it is printing Mercedes is ringing the horn, then it is printing BMW is ringing the horn, then it is printing student is not adult, because we have given the age 15, age of the student is 15, and is in the is student method If age is greater than 15, then it will print student is adult, but currently the age is 15, we have passed. So it is printing student is not adult. So now we'll go to our next slide. Our next slide is summary page. So today we have covered classes in C#, and we have seen introduction to the class and object, then syntax, then we have seen how to create the object, and we have seen the example of the classes creating the class object, and we have run the project and seen the output on the output window. So the next topic will be very much interesting and it will increase your knowledge. So wait for my next topic. And if you want to see more related videos, so my playlist link is given in the description. And if you want to learn about interfaces in C#, so that link also present in the description. So at last, I will say, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.